Hi, and welcome back to the Screenwriting Live Show.
We're
I'm
drink-
Matt.
I'm Rose. I'm drinking water. Gotta stay hydrated.
It's important.
It is. H2O. It's good for you.
So we're going to get back to reading some scripts. I know I got to look at Untuned Love, which got some interest based on the title.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of interest based on title, I really want to see what Time Shark is about.
Time Shark with an exclamation point.
I like that they only did one, because two might be cheesy.
Yeah.
You should read this.
Okay. A retired marine biologist and world's foremost shark expert gets pulled back into the water when interdimensional time-traveling sharks invade our world. And he'll come head-on against an overzealous military man with nefarious plans for the strange animals.
I mean, that's ridiculous, but
That's,
it got my attention.
yeah.
I will say I don't understand how a time-traveling shark invades our world.
I mean, I'm intrigued. It's either going to be, like, horrible or, like, good in, like, a Naked Gun way. Oh, yeah, that's what he said. It's a spoof comedy. In the
This
vein of
gets
Naked Gun.
one page of my attention. Literally
Yeah.
just one page.
I will say, I wish that logline wasn't one sentence. It
Yeah.
was a little hard to read. I think they should break it up.
Time Shark. Quotation marks around the title. Why? Written by, colon. Why? Why is that colon there? Enrique Bertrand. Fine. I like the font. I like that nice heavy weight to the font. We saw that one a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was light and thin and anemic. Be strong. Be
Yeah.
forceful, you know?
Make an impression.
Have some flair.
It's like a firm handshake.
Final draft. That draft should be on the lower left-hand corner or lower right-hand corner.
Yeah.
I would be leery about putting that...
Well, I thought it just automatically put it there, so he must have, like, moved it, which is weird.
So, final draft, colon. I don't like calling anything the final draft of anything because it means that you're not... It just communicates poorly. And the date will look older and older as this goes by. Because I know when I read for companies, professional companies, I will oftentimes see a script in 2009. And I'll be like, all right, this guy's got a pretty good agent. So this script has been making the rounds since 2009, and a high-powered agency couldn't get traction on this.
Right.
I'm already skeptical. The email's in a weird place, so I'm already a little bit shook.
Just seems like maybe he doesn't have a lot of experience writing.
All right, let me give an example, right? Back in your wild and carefree single days, did you ever get hit on by someone who had no idea what a girl actually wanted?
Totally. They just come at it from, like, the complete wrong approach, but seem very unaware of it, which makes you think that they haven't had much success dating in the past.
Give me an example. Like, let's frame this into a narrative. Like, there you are at some bar, and you're with your girls, and...
I mean, I would say when somebody's just, like, overly aggressive but doesn't seem to want to get to know you. Like, they're just, like, touching you and, like, making inappropriate jokes.
How would you like some dick? Can I touch your lower back?
Yeah, basically. And they don't ask you any questions, and they clearly just want to, like, have a, like, little fuck buddy, but they're also just, like, so unappealing at being sexy that doesn't even seem appealing. You're just like, ugh.
Well, it's theory of mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there are uglier guys than the guys you're describing who had a rough idea of what might amuse you, who were at least funnier or more charming.
Definitely.
And that's kind of what you want. When you're looking for a manager, have a theory of mind of what managers want. For example, with me, when I talk to girls, completely unsuccessfully, I have my rough understanding is that they want to be impressed. They don't want me to be needy or unconfident. They want to see that I'm fun, and that I wouldn't be desperately clingy, because this is my one chance at passing on my genes. And I should like them as a person, but also, be attractive and challenging and mysterious and
perfect.
All that stuff. And it's just that easy.
But that's exactly the same with a job, I would say.
Or this is candy everyone wants. Everyone wants to get in there. And there's a million of these scripts. We could read through our Read My Script for days and days and days and days and days and find tons of scripts. But a lot of times they're written without any theory of mind, without anything of what are they looking for? I remember I used to post on Reddit sometimes, and I'd say, just don't make your script 130 pages. And because readers don't like it. And a lot of times people really hated that because they wanted their freedom over the more practical thing of you got to impress this person, you got to
Right.
sell them, you got to woo them, and that 130 pages often disqualifies first impression. It doesn't mean that a good script can't be 130 pages.
Well, here's my thing with any advice. It's like, look, you might not like this advice, but what you're doing isn't working, so try it. And I feel like people are just so resistant to it sometimes. They're like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I have my vision. I have my, way of doing my personality. And it's just like, yeah, but if it's repeatedly not working,
Well, most human beings resent being told anything.
yeah, which is
So
understandable.
that's fair.
It's
I mean,
just
I
human
don't like
nature.
being told what to do.
Yeah.
And then another class of human beings hate having to think about the feelings of others.
Mm-hmm.
That's smaller. Actually, I read this cool thing, the Cato Report, or the Cato Institute, which is a libertarian think tank.
Mm-hmm.
It was talking about the various psychological switches. There's sanctity versus freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and there's caring versus strength. And some people are high logic, low caring,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of writers tend to be, especially
Right.
the nerdy, thinky ones.
Right.
Or some people are high caring but low sanctity, so they'd be more likely to really invest in their script but not care what the format ought to be.
Right.
So there's definitely a sweet spot,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to consider your audience because even if you're doing it for just the selfish reasons of I want to get in there faster, in any context, sorry,
It works.
it's
universal.
helpful. Sell me this pen. So Faden, you want to hit this?
Exterior, Atlantic Ocean day. The deep blue sea. A needlefish skips along the surface of the water. Along the way, it passes Captain Ahab fighting Moby Dick, the Titanic sinking, and the crew of the Orca fighting Jaws.
I'm amused.
Yeah. It arrives at its final destination, the lightly crowded charter fishing boat, Bahamian Dream.
The needlefish jumps across the deck of the boat toward a tourist holding a fishing rod. It pierces the man right in the heart. He groans and goes overboard, leaving his floppy hat behind. The tourist standing next to him grabs his hat and puts it on. No one bats an eye. All right, that's a little ungrounded, but at least I'm not bored.
Yeah, it's interesting.
10 tourists, including an 8-year-old boy, hold fishing poles off the sides of the craft. The boat captain, 55, an old and tired sea dog, takes a deep draft off the cigarette. He walks up and down the line of tourists.
Now remember, people, if you feel a bite, pull back and reel it in nice and slow.
Hey, I caught something.
Nice and easy, kid. Looks like a little one.
Mm.
Come on, kid. Who caught who here?
Laughed the tourists. He snatches the rod from the kid.
Let me see what you got.
You see, it's big. Told you.
You're not going anywhere, you son of a bitch.
Hey, you lost it.
That's fishing, kid. Sometimes a snap. Something pulls on the line so hard that it drags the captain into the water.
So he's dead.
Okay.
The tourists say something inane. Captain loses a leg, and he finds a prehistoric era megalodon shark.
Huh.
All right, this kind of lost me because I like the visual gag on the first paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
but then the dialogue is nothing to write home about.
Yeah. It's almost reading like one of those really bad sci-fi movies like Sharknado.
Which there's a market for.
Yeah. There definitely is. It's got pretty popular.
4 tiger sharks in formation swim toward the shore, and fast. 4 Navy SEALs grab onto their fins, hitching a ride. They're a unit. The 2 terrorists stand with the leader, while the other armed Russians surround them. We appreciate your assistance in this matter.
Victor, Ukraine will fall. The Soviet motherland will return if we all do our part.
Okay. This isn't boring, and this kind of reads like a sample for a Sharknado.
Uh-huh.
Like, if I was hiring for a Sharknado type, B-movie,
Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely intrigued because this is at least imaginative, and it seems like the author gave a shit.
Yeah, I feel like it's intentionally campy and it's entertaining. It's not like, a great work, but like you said, there's a big market for something like this.
It's not my cup of tea. It's
Yeah.
a little derivative of Sharknado, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And the formatting, there's nothing horrible in it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
mean,
had low expectations off the cover page, but
exactly.
like, I'm genuinely enjoying this in the spirit that it was intended, even though it's not my thing, really.
Hmm.
The name's Sarah. That's not Indian, is it? I've been wrong about you all along. So, what are you? Pakistani?
Also, can we just mention that they're in the jail cell with a 1920s era gangster, the Hamburglar, and Kim Jong Un.
This is a little loopy for a sci-fi movie, but it at
Yeah.
least shows passion for this genre.
Well, now I can see more of like the Naked Gun parody feel.
It's
like
a
that's
little,
coming out
it's
more.
a little random, but I wouldn't want to discourage this writer too much because it's having fun.
Yeah, it's creative.
Yeah,
It's imaginative.
and it's done in a way that doesn't make me want to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah.
There are actual clear-cut things that are intended to be jokes, which might work on camera.
Hmm.
Let's see, let's go see if it gets any crazier.
I do feel like those like Leslie Nielsen type movies aren't as popular right now as they used to be. Like I can't think of a recent one that kind of has this feel.
Well, the closest thing you got are either the Wayne Brothers movies, like
Yeah.
Scary Movie,
Hmm.
or the Freeburg and Seltzer movies, like Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, that's true.
The sharks destroy the trackers, so we have no idea what's coming. But we know at least one of these time sharks is headed our way.
Wait, so you said the sharks destroyed their trackers, right?
Yes!
So we have no idea what's coming, right?
That's correct.
But we know that at least one of these time sharks is heading our way. Is that right?
That's right. If you got a plan now, Bateman, share it now. We're running out of time.
Oh, no, I don't have a plan. What made you think that?
Sir, we got company. This is fun.
There's something really funny to me about just like an extremely dumb character and
Yeah.
having to reason with them and them just like no one thinking it's really that weird.
It's
like
a
there's something
little
that gets
random.
me.
It seems like it seems like a goofy improv sketch that got stretched a little bit.
Hmm.
One that was fun and the audience liked because
Yeah.
I feel like this person genuinely gave a shit if I was entertained or not.
Yeah. Like
And
I could see.
I find that so attractive.
Yeah. They're confident about their style.
Format looks right. Things look consistent. I like how look at how tight the dialogue is.
Yeah, it's
Like
not bad.
you would think that this would be like long or messy or unformatted, but more flying sharks come out of the water. It's a swarm up on the deck. Bullets fly, sharks fly, sailors get devoured and taken down to the sea. Gill and Cross strafe across the deck, shooting every shark in sight. I'm getting hype.
I kind of want to see this movie, and I want Ken Marino to be in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Miss Lightman?
Yes, Mr. President, it's me. I'm here.
Miss Lightman, is Chairman Higgins on that base?
He is, Mr. President.
Miss Lightman, you'll be pleased to know that your coordinates worked. There's a global coalition closing time portals around the world right now, all thanks to your research. You're a hero.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, look.
can't write women's dialogue. I feel like that's like a joke on that. They're
Yeah.
just like so generic.
Tribal Dolphin looks up at them.
So what happens to them?
This is their home now, too. It's a brave new world down there.
I think it's a perfect time for you to get back in the water for good, Dr. Bateman.
Maybe. But I'm not going down there alone. Look, we've only been together for maybe 2 hours, Sarah. But I think I'm in love with you.
Gil, I think I'm in love with you too.
Stop being so cryptic, Sarah. Tell me how you really feel.
I love you.
Stop beating around the bush, Sarah. Just tell me. This is very Naked Gun.
Yeah, I think this is funny to me.
They really, really did capture the tone of just that stupid 80s police squad kind of thing.
I like it.
I had fun. Like, I enjoyed reading this out loud.
Yeah.
It's silly. It got a tone right. Like, might be too ridiculous for open writing assignment, but I see something here. Like,
I'd watch it.
I see an author who loved the genre and really tried to make it as fun as possible for the people reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are recognizable jokes, and so kudos you. Maybe I'll upload this to them sometime because this was way better than I thought. And
just fix that first page.
Fix your cover page,
it's
dog.
so good.
Like the bad cover page makes the script a butterface.
That's a Matt Lazarus quote for you.
All right, let's take a look at this.
Almost as good as my favorite. It's not a dead end if there's a door.
It's true. What's to live by?
Okay. Just tells it like it is.
Untuned love.
Why is it not capitalized?
You know, even though it perhaps ought to be, the fact that everything other than his name is capitalized, isn't capitalized, at least looks consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like an aesthetic choice as opposed to being sloppy.
Yeah.
So that's good. Fade in. Exterior pizza place night.
A small pizza place placed in a ghetto area with people working on the inside. What?
That's a typo. So
Yeah.
typo on the first line.
Okay. Tony Ellison, a young college student, is getting out of the pizza place with his backpack. He looks pissed, and his work shirt can be seen from his backpack. He just quit his job. I'm already having some real bad sentence structure issues here that are making me really angry.
He walks to the bus station a couple meters down the road and catches the city bus just in time and sits down.
This is an interesting question I was thinking about the other day. Have you ever read a script like this where clearly the person...
I've written scripts like this.
Well,
usually because I was in a rush or I was really feeling myself and I didn't bother to go back and proofread.
Right. So what I'm wondering is, like, I guess that answers my question. Like, can you be a good writer and have a good story and interesting characters, but just the basic set and structure and whatnot throws readers off?
Well, I've written sentences at least as choppy, so it doesn't...
Oh, I definitely have. I just think that you generally would rewrite until it's a little better before you show it to people.
No, I was looking through some old stuff. Some stuff that even, like, got me meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's a really bad typo on the first page.
Okay.
So...
I mean, I'm terrible at that. Like, I'm not saying I'm any better. It's just, I was just curious of, like...
But best practices.
Right.
Like... Even though it got me meetings, it might have gotten me more meetings that had happier endings if I hadn't pissed off some reader.
Yeah.
Who knows? Don't be careless, because if you give a shit about the work, you presumably give a shit about audience experience.
Yeah.
And you give a shit about your work, and you should want everything on point.
Well, I'm just very anal about things like that personally. Like, I'll get stuff professionally proofread when I probably don't need to, because it's not the greatest thing in the world at all, and, like... But I just need things to be, like... Anything I have control over, I need to be perfect. And, like, so stuff like this, I'm like, that's not a hard thing to fix. Like, a hard thing to fix is, like, write a better script that's more interesting. But that's, like, the easiest thing you can do, in my opinion. So when people don't do it, I'm like, yeah, why don't you just do it?
It's like going up to a hot girl and spitting game, but having mustard on your shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't disqualify me from perhaps sweeping her off her feet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in a perfect world, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Sent you a message on Reddit, Matt, with link and logline. That's cool. So, hey, listen, you got the money?
Listen, man, I got fired tonight. It might take you a while till you get your money.
Fired? What the hell, dude? How do you think I am? Your dad? You ain't staying here for free. You understand that?
I did my best.
Well, it doesn't sound like you did then.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to live out of minimum wage?
These verbs are off. Why?
I feel like they're trying to portray a like an accent, like maybe they're from like New York or something, and they got like a little.
Leon Patain says this is the guy that said in the comments that his dialogue is Tarantino-esque. Then writes, "Give me my money" type dialogue.
So they're kind of like gangsters.
I once worked with a very, very beautiful, cool girl, like one of the coolest people I've ever worked with. She was a baby mom of a very famous African-American director, and she dated really high-rolling guys. It was from there I learned that a Louis Vuitton purse is always appreciated, and that if you're an attractive enough girl, if a guy offers to go shopping with you, what he really means is, we'll take you shopping for a lot of money on the expectation or hope of getting laid.
Yeah. That's Hollywood.
And I would imagine parts of Miami.
Yeah. Guys with yachts.
But what she said, and she said, what I admire about Quentin Tarantino is of all the white writers I know, he's the one that does black dialogue the best.
Interesting.
And that really is a gift. He's got a great ear.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to be authentic and not offensive.
And, I don't want to offend anyone. Obviously, she didn't mean, like, all black people talk in urban patois, African American vernacular, or like refugees from a '70s movie. But she
Right.
said that if he wanted to go ethnic with his dialogue, he totally could.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could have, an African American character talk like Barack Obama. It's either way.
Right.
But getting that rhythm down is so hard. I remember my sister broke up with a guy because he gave her an LV purse, not her style. I would imagine that she broke up with him for deeper underlying reasons. I don't think a nice Scotty purse was.
She just wanted to let him down easy. Didn't want to tell him what was really wrong.
How dare you? How dare you try to please me?
Yeah.
With something that,
She's like, you don't know me at all. I could see maybe getting upset about that if you like have been together with someone for a really long time and they get you something that's so not you and you're like, do you even know me?
What's the worst gift you've ever gotten by an ardent admirer?
I'm trying to think. I feel like family members have given me worse gifts. And it's like, they're family members that I like. It's not that we have a terrible relationship, but like you're just kind of like, you've known me my whole life and you think I like this? I mean, I think we've all had that experience where you're just like, how do you not know? Like, I feel like I try to be pretty good about getting people gifts that like, it's like an inside joke with them or they've mentioned that they really like this. Not just like some generic thing that I like hate. So I could see like if your partner did that, you'd be like, oh, you don't listen to me. Girls get crazy. Have you gotten a really bad gift? My mom likes to get me crystals, which I'm not like a crystal person at all.
Is she like into
like kind of hippie stuff? Yeah.
And is she doing it out of love because she wants to bring whatever crystals bring into your life?
Yeah, like I can tell that I can see her reasoning and appreciate it, but it's not something I like want on my shelf. If you're watching, Mom, hint, hint.
Let's see if we can get through page 4.
All right.
Are you fucking with me, man? Is this some kind of joke or something?
No, I'm not fucking with you. You are the only one who responded to that shit, so I got no choice here.
You better be paying good.
So we cool?
Yeah, we cool, but I ain't killing anyone.
Son, you should be worried about others killing you, not you killing somebody else. You got that?
Yeah, I got it.
I'll finish up your coffee. I gotta get you ready for that job.
Right now?
Yeah, I got my car and everything.
Good. How much is the coffee?
Don't worry about it. I got it. Just go outside and wait for me.
Yes, sir.
I feel like the person really doesn't care. Like, those aren't just like stylistic, dialect choices. That's just like horrible typos.
Giving the extreme benefit of the doubt, might he be attempting to go for some sort of vernacular?
What's your
style?
take on that? Like, do you think that you should write that in? Or do you think just in, like, the slug line or something you should be, like, British accent or, Bronx accent? Like, do you think you should try to change the spelling of words to show an accent?
Gosh,
Because I've heard both sides. I've heard people say they hate it. And I was like, I don't know if that's a common thing or if that's just that person's personal opinion.
Well, I don't know.
It doesn't bother me when it's done well. Like, when I can, like, see it written and then say it out loud and, like, have the accent. When it makes it easier for me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it. But this isn't giving me a clear accent. This is just, like, weirdly misspelled words.
I once tried to write a Scottish female character.
I remember that, yeah.
I could not get the accent down. Like, it just looked ridiculous. And I really worked hard on it. I even, talked to Scottish people, and I just didn't translate well.
Yeah.
And even the things I did get right didn't really land with American audiences. So it gets very difficult.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, it's like anything. If you can do it well, do it. If you can't do it well, don't do it. But I would say, like, when I do see it done well, it's more like words that are commonly used. Like a Scottish word might be like bloody or something. Like putting things like that in help me hear it. But just like misspelling words.
And then there's also loaded qualities to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's the sports writer, I think his name's Jack McCollum, wrote a book on Larry Bird and Moses Malone. And in his Larry Bird book, he makes Larry sound like a hick. He just really translates his thick Indiana drawl.
Right.
But he didn't go there with Moses Malone because he, a white man, writing about a black man from deep Georgia.
Right.
Like, it was just too loaded. It's like...
Interesting, yeah. It's like what's okay and what's not. And I feel like if it's like a specific race thing, that gets really touchy.
Standard issue says, I'm struggling with that right now. There's a character in my script that would definitely drop every G with ing words. Fucking. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think dropping Punchline Rebels writes, I think dropping the G on ing works well in comparison to most spelling alterations. Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
apostrophe
I would agree with that.
is good, but it's a slippery slope. And this is one of those things where I don't have a great answer.
Yeah.
It comes down to your personal style because, I mean, in theory, I believe that non black people should avoid using the N word.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when it really informs a character, and I guess there's times when it could theoretically be acceptable. But
yeah. It's a tough call.
Yeah, it's loaded. Like when you get into those little nuances of what is good manners, what is proper, like it becomes very balkanized. People,
Right.
you're gonna piss someone off either way.
Right.
Liam Patain says, "So are you keeping that in the script, or is it too jarring?" And Standard Issue says, "Not sure. Waiting for feedback from a couple of readers." Well, if you like feedback, we at thestorycoach.net, if you want Rose or I to do a phone consult or notes on anything you've written in private, not on YouTube, check out my page. I'll send it out there. So what are we looking at? We are looking at who sent this? He asked rhetorically to himself. Punchline Rebels. I like Punchline Rebels, so this is one of the things when people say relationships matter,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to be nicer because I like Punchline. He's taken time out of his busy schedule to watch our show, to
mm-hmm.
contribute, to bring in great comments, and according to him, booked one and have in the past. I offer great help. So obviously, because this person is someone who I am warm to,
mm-hmm.
who I have enjoyed in the past. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, like the relationship helps.
Yeah.
You are kinder to someone you are more kindly in favor to.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day with classes in general, like whatever they might be, the subject, like acting, writing, anything, math, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times I'll notice that teachers will warm up to people who have like good behavior, participate a lot, like have a nice personality, show up on time.
No teacher has ever warmed up to me ever.
Well, but then there's people who are more talented or just their work is just better or they just get it easier, but maybe for whatever reason, personality wise, the teacher doesn't like them as much, like just wouldn't want to hang out with them at a bar. And it's just like that interesting thing of like, which is more important? It seems like you can win people over with your charisma and not be as good. And then there's these people who are better, but just like people don't want to be around them. I don't know. It's interesting. Like it's the same. Like you guys have a relationship, so you'll.
Well, you're just kinder to the people you know. And that's what
Yeah.
agents are for. That's why getting in the industry. That's why having friends in the industry help.
Yeah.
Because if you send me a script, if you send a script to one of the companies I cover for, which I don't name on the show, I don't know you.
Right.
Like I am a stone cold killer because my job is to protect those companies from stuff. I think that would be wasting their time.
Yeah.
Am I always right? No. But because I am the initial reader, my opinion carries a disproportionate amount of weight. I am the Iowa caucuses.
Well, that's the thing
scripts.
is like, I guess you could have people in high-up positions that you've networked with or become friends with who will give you a shot because they like you personally. But when it just comes to like cold submitting, like I just feel like
it's a different game.
It evens out the playing field completely. So it's just, I don't know, different situations, different results, I guess.
What is a very interesting note, Punchline Rebels? I talk a lot, so I don't know what... Also, if you're wondering, there's like a 40-second lag or latency on YouTube Live.
Oh, there's our Ballet Reefs guy. Hey!
I like how you have a guy.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. That would be, how would that work, Matt?
With you and Matt fleshing it out. If you want the two of us, it's $60 an hour. This because we split. And we'll just set a time and let me know if you need an hour, 2 hours, or an hour and a half. And shoot an email. Rose, I think you got his email.
Yeah, you have my email, so just send it to me and I'll forward to Matt. That would be great. It sounds like a really exciting project.
Well, no, I mean, punchline. I know you. You know, we've talked on the phone. And, you know, I like you as a person, and you know, as even though I should be an empirically neutral, cold-hearted robot about killing it,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that for two of us, first hour special, afterwards it goes up to 70. Um, so the fact that I give a shit about your dreams, your hopes, I know how old you are, roughly where you come from, what
Mhm.
you're passionate about. It's harder for me to be mean.
Right.
So it's just good manners. You know, we tend to side with people we feel allegiance to.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, if I found out that someone who I was reading had saved a bunch of kids, or you know, was a war hero who had saved his fellow men while like also protecting a village, I'd be like, wow, I should be nice to the script.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, but I would. Whereas if I found out that someone had just murdered someone in cold blood, I might be a little colder to it.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this. We've explained preference to death. It's a feat that's also useful for writers because you never know what someone's bias is. Someone might be a chauvinist. Someone might be misandrist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone might prefer writers of color for a black project, or vice versa.
Right.
Someone might want, like, I might have. My name's Lazarus. I'm an Asian guy, but if I ever submitted for a an Asian project,
mm-hmm.
I put in a fake Korean middle name just so they know, because otherwise I just sound like a random Jew, which I am.
That's funny.
So, script for consideration on the live show. It's a feature titled The Shadow Boxer, just 16 pages so far. When a rare occurrence costs Brendan his life before it's time to go, he finds himself in a position where he has to fight for his right to enter a heaven he no longer believes in morally.
Interesting.
All right.
I'm kind of interested. I mean, it doesn't sound. It's a little vague, but I'm intrigued.
I would argue that the rare occurrence, given that that conveys no information,
Right.
26-year-old Brendan dies and lands in purgatory and must fight in a duel to see whether he ends up in heaven or hell.
So you just say make it more specific?
Yeah, because this rare occurrence is just vague. You're adding words for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, what I gather from that is a freak accident.
But what does it matter?
Yeah.
Like a rare
He
occurrence.
died.
Yeah.
He died.
The other thing is, how do you attach stakes to something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Because the theoretically higher stakes version would be he can get back to Earth in time to save his daughter from a terrorist,
right.
or something like that. And I'm not saying everything needs to be that on the nose, but there's a real problem with scripts like Defending Your Life, which take place in an afterlife because we have no connection to it.
Right.
Like, yeah, I guess heaven and hell are connected. Yeah, I made it a lot prettier because I'm just condensing what your meaning is. Now, what this really is essentially Fight Club if the stake was your immortal soul.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very abstract, and if anyone in the room is, wants to chime in, Oh, did I say Heaven Can Wait? I was wrong. I meant Defending Your Life, which is Albert Brooks. Defending Your Life is a comedy courtroom version of this, whereas instead of Mortal Kombat, kicking and punching, Fight Club stuff, Albert Brooks is actually in a courtroom defending his life.
Oh, that's funny. Heaven Can Wait is the one with, shit, what's his name? I'm totally blanking.
Warren Beatty?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, let's give us a look. I'm kind of intrigued. Could be good. Written by me.
Love it.
That actually made me laugh.
Nice style on the title.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's also being very smart, because this is anticipating.
Yeah.
Because he knew, Warren Beatty, good call, standard issue.
Thanks, standard issue.
He knew that this would be online, so he anticipated the audience, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want his name out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kevin Smith. No, just kidding. He didn't want his name out there for all the internet to see.
Right.
So, great, smart. Please don't ever make a straight-to-DVD sequel titled something like The Shadow Quarterback. Thank you. I would cut that out. All right, why is this all in bold? It's not wrong per se, but it's...
But why?
Yeah, my eyebrow shoots up.
That makes me feel like they're yelling at me. Blackness.
A spotlight shines down over
Brenda Palmer's face, 33. Doused in water, he rustles a mouth guard in and out of his mouth ferociously and shouts senselessly livid. In this moment,
Oh.
I can't. Matt, what are you doing?
You know what? I'm just gonna have to download this.
God damn it.
It's hard.
It's technology these kids use these days.
Yeah, if anyone is a technology expert who's good at YouTube live stuff and wants to help me out in exchange for story notes, shoot me an email, please, because I hate doing this stuff.
Wait, is Punchline Rebels the author of this?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Punchline Rebels.
I'm also going to put my Twitter link in the chat. It's at Story Coaching. So if you ever want to see when the show is happening, or catch up with Rose or I, feel free. Boxing ring. Brendan is posted with his back up against the ring post. He's tatted up and passively toned. Joe, 56, rubs his shoulders while he cracks his neck. The crowd is blacked out.
Across the ring, Kyle Gentry's face, 30. Dry. He keeps his mouth guard still inside of his mouth and has the look of a nervous child gets smeared over his face. In this moment, he seems ready to quit before the fight starts.
Okay, this is... Anything taken out of it yet?
No, just the bold choice. I don't know.
What's the matter?
Why is he looking at me like that?
Like what?
Like I raped his fucking kid or something. Look at him.
They turn and look at Brendan, cold as ice, hungry to hit someone. Henry sighs and smiles at Kyle, like it's not that big a deal. Terrible actor. All you gotta do is fight, survive, get paid.
Brendan and Kyle are practically nose to nose in between the ref, 55. Brendan is outweighed and has to look at Kyle. This perspective is Kyle feeling and looking more confident.
I would cut this and say Brendan shorter looks up at Kyle. Just convey that shorter.
Yeah, it's a little wordy.
Heads, we go 1 round till knockout. Tail, 1 5-minute round, no stops.
The ref flips the coin high into the air. Kyle follows it with his eyes like a puppy staring down a chew toy. Brendan's focus remains on his opponent. The verdict? Tails. Henry puts his head down and rubs his eyes from the floor.
What does that mean?
I guess like this is what I'm picturing, but I think it's worded a little strange.
Yeah, this rubs his eyes from the floor means I am on the floor rubbing my eyes, but you just describe them talking to each other, so that's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
A crowd at full capacity in a 500-cap venue. This is no MGM Grand, but the intense passion these fans radiate show it's just as electric.
Close on, Brendan standing in one corner, hopping up and down and stretching. Kyle raising his arms up high towards the crowd like he's already a winner.
Okay, the bell sounds. We got a little bit of fight choreography. It's not too much, so I like it. It's giving Ordinarily, I don't like too much choreography, but this is at least short, and it shows that you know something about fight.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Strike, strike, strike. The Shadow Boxer. Gimmicky font, but not taking me out of it because it's used in a non-stupid way.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider taking out super. Like, this is a risky move. Some readers will hate it, but, I don't hate it.
It kind of just shows, like, a build and intensity. Like,
yeah.
I'm feeling the vibe.
Bar. Brendan watches ESPN. Some shit he doesn't care about regarding golf. Seth approaches Brendan with a Corona, rocking flannel and a fedora. Okay, that's cool. He's a hipster.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man, I was at the fight. Sick, nasty shit. You're the best, bar none, Question mark.
Thanks.
You hear it's like a 50-50 dude survives? Shit's real. Okay, raising the stakes.
I heard, yeah.
That shit's gotta haunt you. People gotta put an apostrophe here. Shit's gotta haunt you, right?
Not at all.
Damn, you are a monster, huh? I mean, respect. You already know. Fucking beast over here. God damn.
I will say that was underlined, and you did emphasize it.
Yeah.
Back to our conversation before.
Oh.
I got paid $2,000 for this fight. Of Kyle, whatever his last name is.
Jesus, this guy's cold-blooded.
Yeah, Brendan's kind of dead inside.
I like this. I would say that at some point you gotta hook likability to this guy. Either have him be oppressed by someone,
yeah,
which is sort of the top-down way, or give him someone weaker to lift up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you may find that this is so hard-boiled. Like this is a dangerous character.
You got to make him a little more human and likable.
Well, yeah. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, Dirty Harry is an old-fashioned movie, but it's just that's the risk you run with a character this fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
But I like that I get this character really hard.
Yeah, me too.
And I think this is really good tone. Like a lot of the stuff I've seen from you is more premisey. And this actually makes me really appreciate your ordinary world to an extent that knowing what I know about what's coming in the premise, I actually feel like this might be a more interesting world.
Yeah, I'm liking it so
But
far.
this is good stuff. Anyone, lovers or haters out there, feel free to chime in because we are not the arbiters of taste. 6 off a first fight against Mr. Undefeated.
That's right. These people beg for the pen to sign the paper to fight me because it's money and it's exposure they can break my fucking face in. Heaven's Gate opens up for them. So am I supposed to feel bad when I brutalize someone who begged me to be given the opportunity to brutalize me?
I don't like this speech.
I'm just having a hard time reading it. Like, I feel like
Yeah, because he could be crazy, he could be religious, he could be highfalutin.
Yeah.
I would say cut this down by a few lines and be more specific.
Uh-huh.
Because you notice how we knew how to read every single other one of your lines,
Yeah.
but we don't know how to read this.
Yeah, like, I feel like it needs a parenthetical of, like, angry or preachy. Like, yeah, exactly.
I like this use of parenthetical. He doesn't get it because that saves you a line.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan shakes his head, signs invisible check with his eyes. I don't think you need this at all. Enter late, leave early. That's not helping you. Oh, look, we got a daughter.
Ah.
Damn, punchline. Your game's gotten a lot tighter since the last time I read you, which was about a year ago.
Good job. Brendan.
Mr. Alan Grant, how did costume go at school today?
Good. I found a new species of dinosaur too.
Are we talking a big guy here or a small fry dinosaur?
Somewhere in the middle.
Cool. So you've softened him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Great.
See his soft side. Cute. Oh, but it makes me feel worse that he's gonna die.
Yeah, it gives an inherent stakes. What time's your flip?
Is Amber the mom?
Well, a lot of young writers tend to frame on relationships, and a lot of your scripts were good, but had trouble, making the action over the romance. But this is pure action.
Mm-hmm.
We get this guy. You show that you wrote action. He's throwing hands. He's hardcore. He's a warrior philosopher. You should check out Le Samurai and all those J.P. Melville movies about tough guys who are existential brooders. Who's a big influence on Tarantino. So I get this.
Yeah.
It's also got a little bit of that. What's that Christian Bale one where he goes in an underground fight ring to rescue his brother?
The fighter?
No, it's like called Fire in the Valley or something. So right now he continues through this, and we introduce the man in white, the man in black. All right, now we're hitting world building, and let's just try reading this, right?
Okay. How did he die? Oh, this is
Yeah.
Is he dead?
Lap spoke.
It happens.
Let's focus for now on the serious changes you're looking to propose.
You're requesting less natural disasters in favor of conscious individual attacks on humanity?
Correct.
Have we not delivered that with the uprising school shootings?
Understand that redundancy comes in all shapes and sizes, Angel. Satan's pissed, okay? 5 meetings in 4 weeks with 0 resolution. Does he not have the right to be?
These aren't matters that can be resolved in the blink of an eye.
Right, but it's becoming more and more apparent each and every day, the leverage you hold over us in terms of decision-making process. Forget the propositions. All right, see, this is boring. There's an immediate human recognition to a fighter. He's a hard man. He's mercenary. He doesn't give a shit, but loves his daughter. I get that, dude. He's archetypal, and the fact that he's so familiar allows what creativity you brought to it to shine.
Yeah.
Whereas this stuff reads like Matrix 2 stuff. It's not really patterned over everything, not my archetypal understanding of demons.
Mm-hmm.
So
it sounds like two politicians talking to each other, like one's liberal and one's conservative.
Also, look, you notice we genuinely liked your opening and the bar scene and the daughter scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then that's only up to page 7. But then this man in black, man in white stuff, which is less fun, just keeps going. And you're spending a lot of time on the stuff that's less fun.
Mm-hmm.
Man in black fires a gun, bullet impacts Brendan's skull. He wakes up. So some shit is going down. I get that. You're foreshadowing the premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost feel like it would be more interesting if it's just like a really brief flash of a dream. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And it leaves you wanting to know more without as much dialogue.
There's a saying in politics that if you're explaining, you're losing, and that was a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
Like, what's more interesting is the reaction to, if Rose and I have a cryptic conversation, whatever. Rose, the tangerine, has left the orchard.
It sure has, sir.
Mhm. Like that's whatever we could go on, but if you see like a girl who's tied up and she's got, like, and she just sees us like dispassionately discussing all these weird fucking crazy code words, then we're sympathies with her because we see her emotions. Also,
Yeah, having an emotional reaction to something just kind of guides you of how you should feel about the scene. And I feel like if there's
and now we're getting into more talking stuff because
Yeah.
you've established that you're good at action. But the thing is, right now you're getting a little gun shy because rather than hit with action, then like go to resting the story and then go into more action, then rest, then more action.
right,
I feel like you're kind of stalling it out here. A lot of talk, a lot of talk. Okay, the good news on this is this is with the strong. This is a very strong opening. Even the standard issue likes the speech not great. So the thing is, what you've hit is a great base reality
hmm
and a premise that I don't quite get from the logline, and that is a tougher sell.
hmm
What's interesting though is that most people are bad at reality, but you hit it dead on.
yeah,
And I
definitely.
feel like wherever this big concept is coming, I feel like these ideas of heaven and hell and magical worlds all have to do with something that's deeply passionate and linked to the author.
hmm
And
Well, I feel like that subject is just
you're not
so
conveying
personal.
what you find passionate in a way that we are getting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you notice you had us. Yeah, the open standard issue says the opening has you right there in the ring.
Yeah, it's a great opening.
So overall, I would suggest thinking about more ways to show off your action because what's cool about this is your action and the action you're delivering. That's the meal you're serving.
hmm
And the genre stuff is just the garnish. But the problem is, like, you switch that around, so it's like you're giving me a lot of garnish with a little bit of steak.
hmm
And I want to see more action. I want to see you top yourself with action. I want to see how these mystical motherfuckers inform that action that happens.
Right.
So overall, really good, and could be better. Just gets a little loose. Subsequent pages. So we have about like 10 minutes left. I think we should call a um, a moratorium. And let's go to a 30-second break, and let's do the last 10 minutes just fuck around stuff. Maybe it'll make it to YouTube. Maybe it won't.
Okay.
Oh, also, check out my YouTube channel. I've got some 1-minute screenwriting lessons up. Check out my website, thestorycoach.net. And also check out @storycoaching on Twitter if you want to know when the next episode will be. And we will be back in a second.